Good afternoon. Whew, almost tricked myself. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome in. This is what we call regular programming. So we have on Monday at noon the program called Chamber Chats, and one of the two directors, not named Megan, comes to be on the show because she's the other director and she's Jody Brott and she's here. But on one Monday a month, they have a Chamber of Commerce board meeting. Is that right? Is that what happens?
That's right.
So we move it to Wednesday. So I know you're just staying right beside the radio, so you'll know exactly when it is and what's happening. And we have a kind of certainly a special thing happening today. You know, Rose and Ben is on Thursdays from 11 to 12, the latest morning show in the existence of the free world. And I had asked Representative Carl Newton to be on the show. And so he called and said, hey, I can't do Thursday, but I could do Wednesday. So Representative Newton is on his way. And so when Jody and I get done, hopefully Representative Newton will be here and we can chat some. So Jody, welcome to Chamber Chats. You be in the chamber and all. How are you?
I'm good. How you been?
Not bad, all things considered. And I see Representative Newton pulling up now. So we will have two people on our show.
There we go.
And Cade, of course, the associate AID at the, no, SID. AID would be aid, I guess. Yeah. And SID is here, but he has things to do because he's important. He didn't used to be because he worked for this radio station, and you cannot be important if you work here. But he caught a real job, and boy, is he hard to live with.
He was important then. You maybe just didn't capture his importance.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it was.
That's kind of the way he's explained it to me.
Oh, see? Yeah.
I just didn't understand how important
You didn't
he really...
understand how important he was.
And the other thing about...
But now you do because you're like, Kate, I need you.
Yeah, please.
Come figure this out. Turn it on.
Turn it on.
Why is it not going on the air?
What does this knob do? Yeah.
Technology, Ben.
Well, and another thing has happened that's a detriment to this deal. The college, the university, is paying him. Now he thinks jobs should be paid, for God's sake.
Oh, man.
It's caused an absolute rebellion, a revolution in the ranks, as it were.
So you didn't talk to him about how important serving is and serving other people, being a servant leader. And
I love the way you think.
That. You didn't.
Give me some of that. Yeah. Yeah. Serve your fellow man.
Yeah.
Find a struggling radio station and work for it free.
Yeah. All those things.
So, girl not named Megan, what's going on at the chamber?
Hey, not only did we have our chamber board meeting on Monday, but we also had our board orientation. Our new fiscal year starts every October, and we just brought in 3 new chamber board members into our group of people, our board members. And so we now have Carly Williams with Alva Beer Co. and Claudia Haltom with the Nitram Company. And the other one is Kaylin Hansen with Northwestern. So those 3 just came onto our board, and we had our board orientation on Monday. So that was a big deal that we, just got to... I guess sit down together, go through everything that we're doing right, everything that we need to improve upon, and just keep on moving forward, moving and shaking, rocking and rolling with the chamber. So
it's your policies and procedures manual or whatever dictates what you do. Does it designate a certain amount of people need to be on the board of directors?
We currently have 11 people on our board of directors.
Is that because you're supposed to? Or
yes. Yeah. Within our bylaws, that's what we have is 11 people. So
when you're voting on stuff, obviously there can't be a tie because there's 11 of you.
Right. Exactly. And we have each term is 3 years.
Oh,
Unless a person ends up, becoming an officer, and then their term can be extended from that. So, like, if they're in their 3rd year and then they end up being president, it extends their
don't I
time, and then they're
remember
past
something
president.
like that happened to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
How'd
Yes.
that go?
Yeah, so I was president, or I became president. I was vice president, then president, and past president. And during my term I actually did not have to serve past president, because that was the time that was last year. I should have served past president this last year, but instead, Megan and I became directors. And so anyway, so that's where we are currently. Megan was functioning as past president, and I was president when we stepped in to volunteer as the directors, and then they ended up hiring us as the directors. We stepped in to volunteer is what we did, and then they ended up hiring us as directors. So that's been just over a year ago, maybe. It was, last summer. So anyway, but now we're moving and shaking. We've been going for a little over a year, and we've got lots of stuff always happening in Alva and the surrounding areas. We're excited. It's fall break this week, so if you need a little staycation, of course, I've got a space where you can come out to the menagerie. We're open at the menagerie this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, from 10 to 5 with the petting farm and day maze, and then the flashlight maze from 7 to 10. Sundays, it is 2 to 5 with the petting farm and day maze. So if you need a staycation, we've got a great area where we are. We've got the salt plains, we've got the dunes, we've got the caves, and then everything that's going on here. It's such a great area. In fact, we had people out last weekend from Norman who came in, and I said, well, what are you all doing in the area? I was like, I always like to chat with people as they come in, and they said, well, last week was their fall break. And so they were looking for things to do. They didn't want to go out of state. They started doing some research. They found the menagerie, and then they started looking to see what else was in the area, and found all of our state parks. And, that's not even including Gloss Mountains and Boiling Springs. I mean, there's so much in
Alabaster
this area.
Caverns.
Yeah,
Did they
Alabaster
do that?
Caverns. So that's what they did. They ended up doing. They went and dug salt crystals. Of course, today is your last day to dig salt crystals.
I didn't know there was a season for salt crystals.
Well, they let it rest, I think, to reestablish, and then they move it to a different space. Like every time you go out there each year, it's a different space that they have available for you to dig.
I didn't know
But then I think it's also something to do with the migration of the birds or something. I'm not positive. Yes, yeah, okay. So I'm getting a yes from Representative Newton over here.
Yes to what?
That it's the migration of the birds.
I see.
They don't want to disrupt that migration pattern. So
I had a guy that I was in the service with that came up to stay at the farm a couple of days and go scare some deer. I think it's bow season, not gun season yet. And he was amazed because the farm was covered up with monarch butterflies.
yeah, I have taken some amazing pictures of all the monarchs around right now.
And so we had to punch that up, both of us being kind of what's going on here. And so we're in the migration, or we're in the route of the biggest part of monarchs. Man, there's a lot of them.
They're beautiful.
Yeah, they are.
It's so beautiful. So, yeah, that going on as well. But today is your last day to dig salt crystals. If you don't have it in your plan to go do that, then you're just going to have to wait until April 15th next year, and that's okay.
So does it go straight from April 15th till
April 15th to October 15th is when you can go and dig salt crystals. So that group from Norman, they went and they dug salt crystals. They went and they walked out on the lookout at Little Sahara. They went to the caves. They came out to the menagerie. And then they were headed home through Watonga so that they could go to the cheese festival. So
Does Watauga still has that?
that's what they said. They said that they did. So anyway,
Whoa.
yeah,
Did you say that they did or did not go to the Alabaster Caverns?
they did.
They did?
Yeah, they did that. And we actually had several groups out over the past week that they were like, oh, we went to the caves yesterday and today we're doing this. And so, yeah. But we have lots of visitors out in the fall for the maze, for the petting farm, and all of that. We actually are open October and November. But next week, we got to go ahead and talk about this. Do you know what's happening next week?
It's Christmas.
Northwestern Homecoming.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Northwestern Homecoming is next week. So we have this week to finish out. We've got fall break, but then next week, your discounts are going to start by using your homecoming button.
Right.
We've got discounts all around town. You can get your homecoming t-shirt from the foundation office at Northwestern. They've also got vintage buttons for sale in the library. So you can go pick up a button from the year that, you graduated or whatever. Yeah. So they were going through some things and found I'd say hundreds, but maybe even thousands of buttons. And so the library, they have sorted those out, and you can go in and see what buttons they have available for sale. So they've got vintage buttons for sale.
Isn't that so? So this event that I was involved in one time, we misspelled April.
Oh,
which takes some doing.
Right.
We spelled April. That was when the event was with big letters, and we put 2 L's in it.
Okay.
No telling how many hundreds of people saw the proof. Nobody picked up on it. So 10 years later, those posters, which is what we used to advertise the event, were collector's items.
Yeah.
They had value after being one of the bigger screw ups of the day, right?
Yeah.
So you've got some buttons left
There
over.
are buttons that the homecoming committee is selling. Now, the current buttons are the largest fundraiser for the homecoming festivities. So you really should purchase a button. It's only $10 to purchase a button for homecoming. They actually have some representatives in different communities surrounding Alva who will sell the buttons. So if you're not local to Alva, you can find out who your representative is for Cherokee, for Winoka. I don't know if there's one in Freedom or not, but I know that there are some different representatives around where you can pick up your homecoming button. You can pick up a homecoming button at the chamber office. They're $10. I think also Bates & Co., Rialto holders, and several representatives on campus. So that button is going to get you into not only the ball game, but also both nights of the Cinderella competition, Miss Cinderella competition. And in addition to that, you get discounts all around town. So make sure that you get a button.
Do.
Yes.
Do you know how many years they have back buttons on?
Oh, gosh.
Forever?
I did, but I don't right now. So I can't at the moment. I can't tell you right now at the moment, but lots of years. I put them all on, I don't know if you saw pictures or not, but Megan and I put them all on a jean jacket, and we took some pictures with all these vintage buttons, so you
Is that on your Facebook page?
It might be. I know it's in our newsletter, so.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, and it's on the Northwestern page as they are talking about that.
So I was working on the digital billboard night before last, and I saw most of the events up that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw a really nice, colorful one for Bankit.
Oh, yeah. So this month, since we have transferred over into October now, not August. Oh, my goodness, I'm reverting back. But in October, from October, November, December, it is Bankit for the Alva Wesleyan Food Bank. So that's a very important one around here. So if you go to one of the local banks, Alva State Bank, Dream First Bank, Hopeton State Bank, Community Bank, or High Plains Bank. You can set up you can do it a one-time donation. You can do it to where they actually take those funds out monthly if you want to give monthly. But in addition to that, some of the banks actually match the funds that come in as
really?
well. So you can, check that out. Make sure that you give for Bank It. And they are looking for visions for next year. So if you have a community vision, those applications are due on November 15th. So that's just something that if you feel like you have an organization that needs some extra funding and you think, you know what, I think that this is a good community vision, then you can apply for that. And like I said, applications are due on November 15th. So 20% of all funds raised are allocated to the growth fund for future ALVA projects. And then 15% of all funds raised are allocated to the rainy day fund for families in crisis. So the Bank It actually will give to families in crisis as well. So that's something that they get to apply for. So
we are speaking.
Sorry, No. That's it. I mean, there's always lots of stuff going on. Make sure that you subscribe to our newsletter so that you know exactly what's going on. And don't just subscribe to it. Open it. Read it.
Because if I would have opened mine, see, I get it. I would have seen those pictures you were talking about.
That's right, Ben. So you just proved to me that you're not reading our newsletter. What are you even doing? You're on the radio to put all of these out. You're just depending on me to come and tell you all these things.
That is correct. Yes. And in the wonderful way that you present them. We're going to pause for a minute while Jody and I make up, and we'll be right back.
Come for the day, or we can stay. You'll have a great time in Winoka.
Get your kids ready. Spooktacular 2025 is coming to downtown Winoka Saturday, October 25th, 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. Things start off with breakfast at 8 a.m. and then includes a lot of events throughout the day, including but not limited to the Fry and Trio feed, the Candy Ride, Scavenger Hunt, Haunted Hay Rack Trail Ride, and the Barrel Train. Check it out. It's Spooktacular 2025 Saturday, October 25th, 2 to 10 p.m. downtown Winoka.
Visit Winoka, the little city by the sand.
Ben Buckland with Jody Brott. She's the chamber gal. She's half of the chamber gals. Megan Lear is the other one. They are co-directors and do an incredible job. Jody and I have made up during the commercial. It's a good thing it wasn't a 30-second commercial, or we'd still be at odds. But in a 60, we got our relationship, our friendship put back together. So
I didn't realize that we were at odds. I'm sorry.
That happens to me a lot.
Oh, okay.
I fight with people. They don't know that we're in a fight.
Yeah, I didn't even know. So thank you for telling me.
Oh, you're good. You're good. So, Jody, you've talked about several things, but you have not talked about Christmas.
Oh, my goodness. Megan would be so upset with me for not talking about Christmas.
That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, come on. We've got so much going on.
Let me lead you into this. Last year, not that you need leading into it, but this is on my mind. Last year, these girls were new to their job. And so their first promotion was bring it home for Christmas. And they were antsy because it's a big promotion. It takes a lot of doing, a lot of different plates are spinning, if you remember that guy. So they were a little nervous about it. Optimistic, but a little nervous. It went incredible. So we're going to repeat it and even add to it. Okay.
Absolutely, we are. Oh, my goodness. So do I even know everything that's going on? I don't even know because there's just so much. You do have to mark off that first weekend in December.
Okay.
That's the date, okay? So just figure Thursday through Sunday, I'm spending my time in Alva. I am going to be there, especially Friday and Saturday. There's going to be so many events. You're going to be like, I need a nap. but it's going to be good. So we're going to have just lots of stuff going on. We are taking orders right now for luminaries and stars. So if you want to honor one of your loved ones through, like, with their memory through a luminary. We had the beautiful tree last year that was all lit up on the downtown square with the globes, and that's our tree of love. So it's kind of a memory tree, but those are going to be due soon, the luminaries and the stars, so that we can get all of those orders. If you want to renew your luminary or star from last year, we're taking those orders. So make sure that you get those orders in. You can check out everything that we have on alvaok.net. alvaok.net is our website. We have a place for events. You can look at Christmas. There's a Christmas page, but there's also within the events our Christmas. Excuse me. Ben, I know that you're excited about this one. We actually have a space for the bed races sign up.
We
now,
do?
On our events, you can actually go to our events page on alvaok.net, go to events, click on events, and then click on the Bring Christmas Home for the Holidays event. And underneath there, you're going to see a place where you can sign up for the bed races, a place where you can sign up for the light parade, a place where you can sign up if you want to be a pop-up shop or a vendor or a food truck, or if you want to have the best lights in Alva. You can sign up to be on the Christmas Light Cruise Map as well. So all this stuff is live and active on our website. We just revamped our website this last week. We've been busy doing that. We're still in process, so making all of those things happen, but that is happening. The schedule will be out soon as we start to get closer to time, but there's going to be a drone show on Friday night, and then on Saturday is the bed races. We actually got confirmation from Zan at the college. He's the band director at the college. He's going to have Tuba Christmas. Have you ever been to a Tuba Christmas?
I live a very sheltered life. I have not.
Oh, Ben.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I live in a house full of tuba players.
Do you really?
I do. So I have been to a few Tuba Christmases. I certainly have. So we're excited about Tuba Christmas happening in Alva. Zan is going to put that on Saturday before the bed races. That's happening. There's going to be a Little Miss Christmas. There's going to be, of course, the parade. I mean, it's just so much.
We're
just
gonna
start
live stream.
getting excited.
We're going to live stream the parade. We're going to live stream the bed races, no doubt about it. Cade Kennedy, what is that instrument that's not a tuba, but it almost is? The sousaphone. Yeah, I heard Cade doing an oral dissertation on the radio this weekend.
Okay.
and letting people learn that there's a difference between tubas and sousaphones.
Well, you know what? In Tuba Christmas, they accept tubas, sousaphones, baritones. So if you are a player of these, I'm guessing that you could probably reach out to Zan, and he's going to take you into the Tuba Christmas fold.
I'm betting that tuba practice at your house is a hoot.
Well, you know, back in the day when my son was growing up and, you know, working on his pieces for contest, yes, it was quite the experience.
This is the chamber. It's not a report. It could go about anywhere. Chamber chats. Jody Brott will disappear now as we go to play a message from one of our wonderful sponsors, and we thank them incredibly. And when we come out of that break, Jody will no longer be, and Representative Carl Newton will be. Thank you, Jody, for coming in. We'll see you. It's Monday next week. Monday good next
Monday
week?
should be good.
Monday's good.
If it's not, I'll let you know.
Yeah, yes, you will.
I certainly will.
Yes, you will. Thank you. Say hi to Megan and the new directors, the new board.
Oh, our new board.
New board.
Yes, our
That's
new board.
important.
Yeah,
We'll
absolutely.
be back right after this.
Alva State Bank and Trust Company, older than Oklahoma, big enough to serve you and small enough to know you.
We love to give back to our customers. Did you know Alva State Bank offers a great rewards checking account program? That's right. You can earn cash back or high interest with our Kasasa accounts. We will even refund you up to $25 in ATM fees.
How do I qualify?
It's simple. Just swipe your debit card 12 times, sign up for online statements, and have one ACH credit or debit post to your account.
Can I do it online?
Yes. Just visit our website at www.alvastatebank.com to see if our Kasasa Rewards program is right for you. We make banking easy. Whether you're at home, the office, or in your car, our online or mobile banking options help you juggle busy schedules and financial needs.
We plant roots where others have branches.
Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Good afternoon and welcome to KALV Live. Jody Brott from the Chamber joining me for Chamber Chats as she does at noon every Monday except one, and this was the one, so Wednesday is it. And so as you know, fellow listeners, on Thursday is the latest, most mature morning show in radio. 168 years of combined wisdom. Fall down 7 times, get up 8. The agony of defeat, but the thrill of victory sprinkled through there. It's Rose and Ben on Thursdays from 11 to noon. So I called our state representative and I said, Representative Newton, we would love to have you on our show. He actually works on Thursday. I had no idea. So I said, well, what are you doing tomorrow? So here we are, and that's the lead-in. Representative Newton, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing great, It's great to be back home. Trying to get still caught up on some things back home, but the legislative stuff is kind of starting to kick in already, and so yeah, I've made 3 events yesterday, so it's a slow day. I've just got one event here, and that is getting to talk to you and see Cade Kennedy. I haven't seen him in a while, so it's good to see both of you.
This is the all-new Cade Kennedy.
The all-new Cade
Yeah,
Kennedy.
when you saw him, he was a part-time air personality on K101.
I didn't know that
You
yet.
did know that. And he is now it varies. I mean, my interpretation of it. I believe that he is the associate SID for Northwestern Oklahoma State University. Is that reasonably close? Okay, pretty close. Here's what I have noticed about his job that just drives me nuts. Since he started the job, which was a couple of weeks ago, he's had a new Northwestern shirt on every day. I swear, when he worked for me, he wore the same T-shirt for 3 months. The swag up on the hill is big. I mean, look at him; he looks precious.
He looks pretty sharp there in that new shirt and everything. So,
he does. Yeah. He does.
Maybe that's one of the benefits of it.
Gotta be.
It's
gotta be. So now I got to come up with T-shirts. I guess.
I guess so.
First it was money. Now it's T-shirts. My God, where will it go? So Carl, I got a mailer that talks about it talks about the header says over $240 million in savings, and then it says to call and thank you, and it gives a number, and I mentioned it to you, and you went, what?
Yeah, it was kind of interesting that I think the night before I talked to you, I was in the grocery store, and some guy said, yeah, I saw a picture on a piece of mail that I got today, and I said, uh-oh. Was it good news or bad news?
Right.
Because you never know on this job whether it is or not. But, yeah, I think that is for some of the energy bills that we tried to help keep our energy producers able to keep moving forward. And then there's also one on Facebook right now regarding insurance, which is one of the things I did a lot of work on this last 2 years, actually.
So there was a time that I followed the legislature very closely. Just to give you just a quick synopsis, I was honored to get to help Louis Camus when he ran, actually several times. And I was working at a radio station at 101 Northeast 28th, which is, you can go from the address, is only 5 blocks from the Capitol. So on some downtime, I would go up and watch. I was really I was really interested in that stuff. And here's what I learned by watching our legislature. That's really work. That is work. And I mean, you guys do an amount of breakfasts, and you do them at really inconvenient places. And they're all early. And then you do an amount of banquets, and they're everywhere, and they're all late. And then in between, you're doing what you're elected to do. I mean, not to make it grandiose, but it is a long, long day.
It is. It can be. You know, it's not as romantic as a lot of people would think because, like you said, we have meetings in the morning and then we are in session during the day. And then that night, we've got to go back and read all the bills that are coming up in the future, whether it be in the committee process at the beginning or coming to the floor. And so it makes for long days and nights. So
there's a job it has a title. Can't remember what the title is, but it's the guy that announces there in the chamber what's going to happen.
Floor leader. Floor leader decides what bill we're going to hear next.
No, this is a paid position that's an announcer, has a microphone, and tells you what's coming up, what you're going to be talking about, what you're going to be doing. When Jeff was the Speaker of the House.
Speaker of the House. Mm-hmm.
The guy that does that job was, I don't know, resigning or retiring or something. So I was like sort of interviewed for the job, but where I'm going with this is I had to see what this guy does, and he had to be familiar with what it was he was going to talk about. Well, there are no bills that are on 2 sheets of paper.
No.
I mean, my Lord.
No, I won't say no bills because I had one last year that was actually, well, even with the header, it fit all on 1 sheet of paper.
You're kidding.
No, it was a simple bill, but it was just like a name change or something. But we do have those. But we also had a bill this last session that was over 1,000 pages long.
Yeah.
And you say, well, how do you read that? Well, what it was doing, it was we reclassified a certain felony for certain crimes, and so it went through and corrected all that language change that needed to be happen in that. So we didn't have to read all that. We had a research person that did that for 3 months. Took them 3 months to go through that and make sure they got it all correct. And so, yeah, you kind of just have to review here and there because there's no way you can read a 1,000-page bill and you know, they bind them every time they get the bill passed. So it was, you know, it made a nice little suitcase, you know, really.
Right. So there used to be 1 or 2 main snags, or this is a big deal. But now they're multitudinous. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that really changes our lives that you guys are talking about. In this last session, what was the toughest thing that you talked about? That
energy was one. Education is always it was probably the most important subject we talk about because we spend over half our budget on education. When you can combine career tech, higher ed, and common ed, you know, all 3 of those, that's over half the budget we deal with. So when you're dealing with that, if there's a major issue this year, it was the highest number of vetoes ever occurred in a legislative session.
Vetoes can only come from the governor?
That's true.
Okay.
And there was like 200 bills he never signed, but if you're in session and the governor doesn't sign it, it goes into law after so many days. I think he let like 200 of the bills that did pass go into law without his signature. So is that kind of symbolic of him? I think so. Yeah. He's got his ideas which way we should move, and when we don't move, he's happy to throw some vetoes out there, and this year it was interesting. I'll say that. I'm not downing the governor by any means, but it was an interesting year because the record number of vetoes that were ever done in a year. I think you could go back for maybe 20 years and never have that many vetoes total combined years. And then we overrode more vetoes than we've ever done it before. But that was another story.
Yeah, truly. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, education. Yeah. Has that smoothed out a little bit?
You know, I have got probably 95% less calls regarding the superintendent of education since Superintendent Ryan Walters resigned. So, yeah, I think that will be a lot quieter now. So,
how did he get that job? Was that an appointed job?
No, that was a vote of the people.
It was?
Of the state of Oklahoma. That's why when people are telling you to impeach him, well, first of all, to impeach somebody, you have to have an impeachable offense, and that is to break the law or to do something like that. And he did not, and so we couldn't do that. And then also, you're going against the will of the people, and that's not something that you want to do when you're voted by the will of the people. So
True. I only know a couple of people that know the guy, and both of them say he's a good guy. I wouldn't know him if he walked in the door, really.
To sit down and visit with him, I mean, and I had him come out to Northwest Oklahoma, had him in Enid, I had him in Woodward, I wanted to get him to Alva, but it didn't work out that we could get him up here. But when you sit down and visit with him in a closed room, yeah, very sensible, very common sense. You think that, but when he gets out, he tend to like to make statements. You know what I mean? And and that stirred everybody up, and so that's the difference between the two. The person we had there.
This is Ben Buckland. We are talking with State Representative Carl Newton, and we're talking about a plethora of things. So if you want to be part of a plethora, come on. Cade Kennedy has important things to do, Carl. Important. So he's going to leave. I will take over the controls. So this baby might be in a fiery mess in 15 or 20 minutes, but stay around and watch and see if it works. We're going to pause for this message and dismiss Cade with love and roses. I'll be right back with Representative Carl Newton.
Warm up with a class at Northwest Technology Center this month. Choose one of our evening classes, including computer fundamentals, cooking, health-related courses, business development, and much more. Northwest Technology Center also offers training for your business at your convenience. Contact us today for more information at 580-327-0344 in Alva or 580-227-3708 in Fairview. Northwest Technology Center is preparing students for success in education, careers, and life. Core Bank in Winoka was so named because of their customers. The name speaks to strength, substance, strong character, plus sound banking principles, heart, and soul. Offering strong, convenient banking in their community has been the aim, the goal of Core Bank of Winoka, with a foundation dating to the early 1900s and shepherded for the last 50 years, headed by President Mick George and now Weston Hill, Vice President and Loan Officer. Core Bank, member FDIC, serving the community from downtown Winoka. Call or come by, proudly supporting all things Northwest Oklahoma. Go Rails!
Welcome back, everybody. Ben Buckland with you with Representative Carl Newton. Cade Kennedy is going to his very important job. You know, Representative Newton, as Cade fades into the sunset, he has a very important job here. Very important. So it's you and me now.
All
so we can do this. We can do this.
I have no doubts. I have no doubts at all.
I've been hearing you on the radio. Are you enjoying? Do you enjoy getting to?
Yeah, I mean, I'm get to go over there. Of course, during session, I've been trying to call in, and as you're talking about, a radio station there in Woodward. Can I say it?
Oh, sure, K101.
K101.
We love them. We absolutely love them.
Yeah, well, and in fact, you're on there probably as much as I am on the radio on Friday nights. We always have you join us and tell us about the Winoka Railroaders and everything. But no, I've been able to do the Friday night quick scores as many weeks as I can, and then also when we're in session, I try to call in on Friday mornings and kind of give them an update of what's going on the last week in session and kind of answer some questions because, as a representative, I've always felt like I'm to represent the people and the people should know what I'm doing. And so that's what I work at, trying to make sure that I share the information that what's going on at the Capitol so that people back home know what we're doing up there.
I spoke about watching the legislative session for a long time, or for quite a while, when Louis Camus was our representative. We've had some great representatives up here.
We have Elmer Maddox, and then
Elmer,
and then,
you bet,
and then Jeff. Yeah.
And here's what I came away with. I don't know why anybody would want to be a state representative. I don't know why anybody would want to be a county commissioner. And I don't know why anybody would want to be a mayor. You
Right.
get no credit for anything, and you take the blame for everything, and everybody has at least a verbal shot at you. And we're the voters, so we know that you work for us, so we can say this stuff to you,
Right.
whatever this stuff is.
Right.
Generally speaking, are you treated okay that way?
Oh yeah. I mean, I've had most people that really don't like you will go a roundabout way of hitting it, but sometimes you get nasty little letters in the mail. But most of those aren't signed, and so,
Right.
so especially when we had a budget shortfall, we got some really nice mailers, but I think those were bulk mailers. But a lot of the stuff we get sent out is bulk. A lot of groups will have you tell, though I know that one right now is that they want us to get rid of all the Muslims and all that. And so there's a lot of this stuff that people get confused with state legislature and federal, And so there's certain things we can do and certain things we can't do. If it goes interstate, we aren't in that part of the business because interstate commerce, that goes to federal. But I've been overall, just to say it best, I've been blessed to get to represent Northwest Oklahoma. Most people are very cordial to me. I always wonder what they're thinking after they leave when we do an eggs and issues or something, but generally they're very nice and kind to us, and I appreciate the opportunity to serve the area. So
There's never enough money, ever, for a commissioner, for a mayor, or for a representative, or for a senator. There's never enough money, and you never do with the money what a lot of people think you should do when you do something with the money. But I guess you become conditioned. I would think you would have to be able to do it day after day after day. Am I even close?
Oh yeah, I mean, the when people reach out, we just try to answer their questions, and if I've missed somebody, I always tell them to when somebody has a question for me, especially if I'm at an event, I said, please put it in writing, because I can have a conversation with you, I can have a conversation with Jody, I can have a conversation with Cade, all here in a matter of 30 minutes, and then I go home or I run into somebody else and they have a problem. Send it to me in writing so I'll have something written down to reference to when I get back home and be able to look at that problem. But if somebody will reach out to me and text, or I usually give out my cell phone number, but text, or if they will email our office, I'll be happy to try to help them with any problem they're having. So, I mean, but overall, no, it's good. It's good. I mean, I got to sit down with Speaker Hickman when he got done, and I said, what is the biggest thing you did in your 12 years in the House of Representatives? He said it's doing constituent work that didn't have anything to do with a bill, being able to shake trees that they can't be able to shake, make a difference. When the DEQ comes down and wants to levy a fine, or he had somebody that wanted to levy a fine because somebody was burning wood pallets out in their burn pit, and so he was able to stop them from doing that, and just that was the example he gave me. But there's been things I've been able to help families in situations and stuff like that, and so that makes it rewarding too.
I don't know if you would remember this because you you participate and help tons of people, but my son is was going to be a lifer in the military, and got hurt badly in Afghanistan, and he needed to be able to correspond with the person in the military chain, and I really don't know enough about it to even kind of make this make sense. But you were able to. You said this is the person that he needs to get his information to, and that saved. I don't know how we would have ever gotten that information, but you not only did it, but did it pretty darn quickly. I guess those things may come up occasionally.
Oh yes, and I would say maybe not daily, but I would say probably five to almost daily, 5 to 6 a week, different situations that we are being given to deal with, and some we can't do much about, but a lot of them we can help, like you said, direct them to the right person. I had a gentleman that was worried about cedar eradication, some of the funding that was going on out there. There's the EQUIP program, and then the federal government has a program, and so he was reaching out to me to find out if he could participate in any of those programs, and so I was able to contact him with the Conservation Commission and give him the right person to call, so to see if he qualified and what benefits he could reach from them.
And it's much more difficult than it used to be in a lot of areas. I had a situation happen that was just because I was goofy. In the billboard business, we do business with the Oklahoma Department of Transportation and their licensing division. And there's a whole building of those people. So I have gone to that building over and over and done billboard business. Know a lot of the people there. Hadn't been there for a long time. It was just coming out of COVID, maybe a year or so. So I go up there to the building, and the officer there, nobody gets in a government building just walking in anymore. And I said, I told him what I wanted, and so, like he's talking to a second grader, he goes, "Sir, there were